cannabis was like, yo, I just want to be down. I just want to, let me get that mic off your arm. Let me borrow that mic. I like that. I want to put that same tattoo. And L so arrogant. He probably was like, you can't get the mic. You know how L is, man. He's petty and arrogant, man. Petty and arrogant. And that created a whole battle that cannabis wasn't even ready for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The whole battle that cannabis wasn't even ready for, man. And the rest.
Well, that's what happened today. You know what I mean? You at the gym, right? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a battle on the court. You know what I mean? You might jab you a couple times. I mean, after that, you got to take them. You got to take them down. But I mean, you might jab step you a couple times. I'm just.
He's Mark. His body. He's not built like that. I seen this kid on the court a couple of times. I didn't play with him or against him. I didn't have anything for him. When he told me it was his birthday today, I'm like, well, I had my mind like, what do you want me to say? What you want me to do? I don't even know.
Wow. a simple fucking happy birthday would suffice, man. 15-year-old kid probably ain't got no father in the home. He see you play ball, see you in the gym. You're probably a solid role model. Now you done not a little nigga rob somebody tonight. Thanks, Sean. Put more crime out there in the streets. Appreciate that.
Okay, so if you're in the middle of hitting your traps, right? And you're in the middle doing your traps, right? I'm in the middle of this, right? And randomly a kid that you don't really know too much about comes to you and say, hey, Sean, hey, hi, son. Today's my 15th birthday. I'm 15 years old. How do you respond to that?
You know what, young man? Happy birthday, man. Many more, That's it. I mean,
stay in school.
I don't know.
Like,
that's like get that man. I can't believe you used to be a recruiter for the Marine Corps. How dare you? Like, I mean,
but see, that's the thing, man. It's one of those things where you know how you get like a short attention span, right? Like one of your soldiers, the Marines, come up to you like, hey, Sarge, can I show you something? Like, I'm over here talking. Get out of my face right now. Get out of my face. Get away from me.
Yeah, now that's different.
Right. Get away from me.
We always used to get away from me in the military. Like, why are you talking to me right now?
Right.
Beat it.
Beat it. Scram. He said scram. Yo, we back in the building, man. It's hump day Wednesday, man. We in the middle of the week. Got my shot. I'm still potting with the fellas. So for some crazy reason, I start leaning like this and I just fall out the chair. Somebody, Merv, you got my Wiz number, man. Give her a shout. Let her know to come downstairs and get me just in case she ain't watching.
More importantly, y'all, we'll keep going. So, I mean,
please keep going. Don't stop because I fall out. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. Good grief. Yo, Mark, how it is in Philly, man? It's still hot out there, man. You guys got any rain?
Yeah, it was like a storm, then it got hot again, then it was another storm. So I don't really know, what's going on with that. Only thing I know is that I got two kids came to me. They want to play AAU, so I got to find the team. So we move school to them. So I'm playing GM over here again. So I was just like, man, it's cool, but I just like, look, I was like, if you don't make it to practice, I'm gonna tell coach just to cut you right on the spot.
As you should. As you should. Discipline, man. Show discipline. Merv, how you doing out there, homie? How you doing in the Met? What up, Stacon? Stacks, how you doing? How you doing in Met, Stacks?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm chilling this week, transitioning. I got my son. I got this flight shit fucked up. I thought he was coming in tomorrow. My son is coming in from Nevada. With this girl to visit for the weekend.
Okay.
And then Sunday I start a new not Sunday, but Monday I start a new job. So I'm just chilling this week, trying to decompress and I didn't get shit done today that I was supposed to do. I'm playing Call of Duty all day, man. I couldn't pull away from it. I just couldn't fuck. Cause I mean, I buy Call of Duty every fucking year, barely play it. So this year, a couple of my partners like made to get into Call of Duty. I'm like, all right, I bought the game. I'm gonna play the shit, and I'm fucking addicted to that shit. It's a stress reliever, man. From all the bullshit you deal with, because you can't shoot people like in real life. I mean, you can, but I mean, it carries lengthy prison sentence and or possible what is it, capital punishment?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I still want to be free. So I'm getting a whole lot of enjoyment out of Call of Duty right now. Cold War, the latest one. Sean, you need to cop that for the PS5, man.
Like I told you over the weekend, I got to get myself amped up for it again, man. Every time I get Call of Duty, I end up not playing it. I'll be honest, man. Like it's hard for me to get into it because I'm so deep into Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, you just go around like taking people out undercover. They don't even see you coming. You just go behind them and keep on going. So it's hard for me to break that, man. And getting a Call of Duty. It's just I get it, but I can't get into it right now, man. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, whatever.
Go my sniping. So yeah, but I ain't gonna hold you, man. Do what you have to do, man. I just want to just get people where they can't see me. Like where he go. That's what Assassin's Creed do. They get you in the shadows, man. You don't even know what's going on. So, but hey, by all means, go ahead and Call of Duty, man, and go at it. Have at it, man. Go bonkers, man. I'm not gonna hold you for that. Go bonkers. So you tell us again, Merv, how you doing out there in the Met, man?
Yeah,
This nigga's so extra, man.
Oh boy.
I'm good.
Okay. So yo.
Let's keep going, man. Nobody got time for this shit, man.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Yo, Mark, what's on the streets, man? What's hitting your wire, man? What's on the Mark's wire?
Like I shouldn't be surprised at this story, but when I first read the story, I was mildly surprised. The Brooklyn Nets, particularly the stars, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, had the Nets pay for homes for their girlfriends and wives and more likely sex partners, right? So the team, not them, the team actually paid for this, to make sure they cool, so they can keep their mom in the game. But you guys still got injured and lost in the second round. Like that still happened. They include out, the girlfriends, the wives, and strippers. You know what I'm saying? And James Harden's things. We already heard that. But the team, I think that I'm like, I shouldn't be surprised because probably when they were negotiating their contracts, they're like, listen, you gotta fly all my Jones out. I need to like that. They probably actually really was in the contract negotiations, and that was happening. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this is on the low. Like, this is just out front. Like, look, you got to pay for Jones. Jones she fly in on Tuesday. The other chick fly in on Wednesday. On Friday shit. You had to fly up in, special in a red plane. Like, this is what these dudes are doing. I'm just like, man. I'm like, yo, on one hand, I'm like, that's great, fellas. I salute it. You know what I'm saying? On the other hand, dude, y'all still lost the second round. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still was out the second round. Even though they gave you all these accommodations, y'all still ain't winning shit. Like, I mean, and guess what? They got one more year to do it because they all can and will opt out after next year and be off to another team to do whatever they do.
So the Brooklyn Nets organization, they paid for the girlfriends and partners or whoever to come, like, to stay out there?
Homes. They bought homes.
God
like,
damn.
Is that legal?
You stay on this block. All right, well, listen, I don't want her too close to her, so can you move her to the other neighborhood?
Wow.
Like, put her over in Bergen County, yo, you can put it up in Manhattan. You know what I mean? Where the niggas,
Wow.
you know what I mean? I'm gonna be over here in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I gotta show them Dumbo though, right? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
like
Is that legal? Can you do that?
all the nicest boroughs in New York. All three of them guys got chicks there. Like,
Wow.
really, like you think all the nicest boroughs, they all there. Probably got a car for them too. Like, all right, yeah, give her the S class, but she been tripping a little bit lately. So, you know what I'm saying? She don't get no roller coaster. You know what I mean? Give her, you know what I mean, a little Jeep Cherokee. You know what I mean? She asked better, you can upgrade, you know? So, you playing fifth damn basketball. Okay, I got in the team, but y'all still don't get to.
That is bananas, man. Like, hey, you know what James Harden brings to the table. I mean, when he left Houston, it was sadness for like I think 3 days in a row. They said like the strip clubs in Houston was like, yo, it was a drought. Like if you had stock in the strip clubs in Houston, your stock went into the grind. That James Harden left that area, man. So he brought that same energy over to Brooklyn, man, because James Harden just don't care, man. He would let you know straight up, like this. I'm about this life. This is what I do. Now I got KD out here.
So, mind you, man, you got to think about it. You know, like now these guys get bounced out the playoffs, right? What does James Harden do? I'm gonna go to Europe with the homie Lil Baby and get arrested.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought he didn't get arrested. I thought he just got detained for a second.
So, well, they got detained for weed or whatever they got detained for, but both of them got detained. Like, I'm just like.
Hey, man. Hard be living his best life, man. I can't knock that brother, man.
I mean, you gotta laugh at it because it's funny, but it's funny because it's like straight out, it's like a movie, but it's real life for him. You know what I'm saying?
Ballers, man. It's like out of Ballers, man. Like the stuff that James Harden does, it's like what you write about for like a show.
That was a good show. Y'all seen Ballers?
I seen
that's a great show. Great show.
And
Uncle Marvin from Raising Canaan was in Ballers.
He sure was, yeah. He absolutely was. That's why I really know that cat from. Mm-hmm. He's like the scumbag friend that's living off his friend that got the contract in NFL.
Yeah. You know what's kind of funny? He's a scumbag now in Raising Canaan. He's kind of a scumbag now. Like, you know what I mean? That's his role. That's his lane. Yeah. Props to him.
He get typecasted as a scumbag and shit.
Yo, so Stats, what's on your wire, man? What hit your wire?
Y'all know I'm coming, man. Okay. Meet this guy right here. His name is Tommy Bryan, and he's on the city council in a town called Tarrant, Alabama. He looks like a mix between he looks like Mitch McConnell mixed with our governor here in South Carolina. I'm forgetting his name. What's the governor of South Carolina name? Sean or Merv? Help me out. Stanford. None of y'all don't know. Okay, got it. Anyway,
Mark Sanford.
No, it's not Sanford. Why am I drawing a blank as far as his name?
McMaster. McMaster.
And it's funny that his name is McMaster, and I mentioned Mitch McConnell because it looked like a mixture between these two. And I always say that McMaster looked like he currently owned slaves. But anyhow, Henry McMaster's, yeah. Anyhow, so this dude is at a city council meeting, and he repeated, I guess, what somebody said as far as during the meeting. It was streamed live to Facebook. It was like, who do you mean? Who are you talking about when you say house nigger? And he said it just like that, and he was unapologetic about it.
Yo, Rico crazy. He does it to the dad from Alf.
He used this slur, and he is totally unapologetic about it, and he won't resign. But it just goes to show that old guys that look like this, man, they probably, he's been on Earth long enough to probably witness a couple of lynchings, and
enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just hope that he knows that hell will be his final resting place. along with a whole lot of his ancestors. You know what I'm saying? But it's just wild. Like he all willy nilly, like, and he said it, and he's kind of like, what do y'all mean? I just repeated what was said. So,
Wow.
I don't know. It's a development situation. Probably gonna be some protests, all kind of crazy shit going on. But then again, I think that time the demographics is like 53% black.
Yeah,
So go out there and get that guy out of there.
it's Alabama, man. It's crazy. It's 2021, and we still dealing with that. And
But let's get one last look. Look at this guy. Look like he says the N word regularly at the dinner table with his family and all. Look at this guy.
in this pic, he's thinking it.
Right.
I mean, man, because they have a black mayor, and the black mayor is talking like this nigger. You know what I mean? God damn, this nigger. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what
with that emphasis on the GER. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that, Mark.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna keep it in that same lane, man. I heard this story late last week, where this 29-year-old white male went over, and they say allegedly, but it actually happened. He beats this black kid with a belt for using profanity. So let me put this in context. He actually went over to the kid. He's a neighbor. He actually went over to the kid's house in their yard while the kid was in the backyard with his friends. No telling what they do. I think they were playing basketball or something like that. There was the report was saying, and saying a couple of curse words. And he went over there and took a belt to him. He went from his yard to their yard. Keep in mind, it's not in the streets. This is not in his yard. This is not in public or anywhere like that. It's in this young man's yard. The kid is 15 years old. Of course, the 29-year-old guy got arrested for assault.
He should have.
They're probably going to charge him with that because he had no right to lay his hands on this kid in no capacity at all. The crazy thing about it is, he don't think he did anything wrong. Of course, he feels that he made this decision because the kid shouldn't have been cursing. And when I first heard that, I was like, "Whoa! Like, who gives you the right? I don't care who you are, white, black, whoever. You don't have the right to go in no one's yard to put hands on any one kid at all."
Right.
That's how you come in on the Johnson estate. It's a great chance that you're going to find yourself in a bad situation because you bought that ticket. I'm gonna give you a good show. You come in my yard and you talk. Even if you didn't say anything, I will go crazy. You say anything to my little girl, anything. I don't care. She can be dead wrong. You don't say anything to her. I will handle that. All right. I will handle that. Let alone come in the backyard while these kids are playing basketball and beat the kid with a belt. The kid was a big kid. You can see in the pics. The kid was actually pretty big, but he actually didn't want to fight back. And I think the part that saddened me was the kid was like he didn't want to fight back or defend himself because he felt that he would have been wrong and he would have gotten he would have gotten the blunt of everything that happened. And that's bad when someone has to feel like they can't protect themselves. Now you're feeling helpless. That's the world we're living in right now, man. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Would you, neighbor or no neighbor, would you allow it to happen?
Man, I'm gonna say like this, right? Here's the thing. Well, it ain't gonna happen, you know what I mean? It ain't gonna happen on the Johnson property. It just ain't happen. That's number one. Number two, this ain't like back in the day where, you know what I'm saying, and this is probably more our parents' generation than ours, where if you did something wrong, I mean, in the neighborhood, where we gonna get on you. You was gonna catch an ass whooping before you got home.
Yeah, that's how I grew up.
We probably would have tailed into that shit, right? Nowadays, you don't even know your neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know you. You know what I mean? Since I don't know you coming over to my yard, that's first thing. That's a violation right there.
Definitely indifferent, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Absolutely.
You don't know me. We ain't never speak nothing, and you coming into my yard. We got a problem right there.
Right.
And then, you think you gonna discipline my son?
Right.
Oh man. Let me tell you, I'd already been arrested along with him because, hey, Like, wait a minute, if I wasn't there, my son tells you, oh, this happened. Oh,
You're right.
he was right there, right? We
Right.
got to right there. Come on, bro, where this go? You know what I mean? Hey, did you do this? Just like, shit. You know what I'm saying? We both go to jail. Hey,
Right.
I think so.
Mark, your audio is like, I don't know if it's me.
And Mark, you having some audio issues.
Oh, my bad.
We chopping up real bad.
All right, my bad. Yo, but that shit crazy. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right. Are we in a space right now where this is starting to become like really acceptable?
Well, here's my take on it. Since they're neighbors, I'm pretty sure that man, he knows. This is just me assuming there can't be a man in that house. I don't think that. I would think that there's not a male figure or father figure in that house because I don't think anybody. I don't think he would have played himself like that to run up in somebody else's yard, somebody else's property, and beat somebody's son that has a male figure of some sort in the house. That's for one. And I think we all been there when we was little. You know, you cussed in front of your friends and all that stuff, but when you're in front of adults and stuff like that, you know, you don't do stuff like that. But it's kind of like what Mark was saying. Like you got that village mentality back in the day. You have people that will, you know, that's authorized put hands on you, or you got the people that's really going to say, you know, I'm going to tell your father, I'm going to tell your grandmother. Those were the two kisses of death for me because not only did I fucked up, I got to anticipate an ass whooping, and I got to wonder if they really, really, you know, reached out to my people to let them know I was out there, you know, being out of pocket in them streets. But I think it's a little bit of a different dynamic since race is involved, of course. Like a white guy, I mean, be able to, you know, the times that we living in, bro. I'm kind of curious as to what made him feel comfortable to do that.
You know, the report said that the kids, they were in the driveway. I was reading it just now. It said the kids were in the driveway playing ball and said a couple of curse words. And on the video, you can see the guy rushing at the kid. On the security footage, you can see the guy rushing through the kid up against the garage door and start beating him. So, you know, again, what spurred this guy to even feel that comfortable to rush a kid on their property? Like you said, I highly doubt that there is a male figure that might. I hope not, because if there is, then there's another problem.
Absolutely,
you got to protect your gate. You know what I mean? And he rushed the kid, threw him against the garage, and started beating him. Right, and he had to feel like that was comfortable to do.
Yeah, much like what I think Becker commented. Story would be totally different if that happened to me and mine. If that happened to one of mine, man. I'm sorry. The story would be a little bit different. I mean, the tail end of that story is going to be he, you know, took a belt to my child, but they're going to show my mugshot directly after that.
Right.
Assault and battery of a high aggravated nature, more than 11.
Right. More than 11. Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
and I'm smiling in the mugshot.
Right. Yeah. For real, because that's how it got to be. It's like, man, it's almost at a solid war, man. It's almost like a war out there. And it's not getting better at all. It's actually getting worse. You would think that with all the examples shown that it would get better, but people are getting out of control, man. So again, be careful out there, be safe. Somebody come on your property, start in trouble, show them what it's about, man. Make sure they don't do it again.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's my thing. Murray, we'll hit your wire, man. What came across your wire this week, homie?
Well, I saw some shit, and I feel like every nigga in America saw this shit, and every nigga in America was thinking the same shit. And every nigga in America was disturbed by this image.
Ah,
Come on, man.
that's nasty, man.
Come on, man. Listen,
Mark, you can't write any time, Mark.
listen, man. Come on. Yo. I'm pretty sure every nigga in America that knows this motherfucking story
That's
of
nasty.
Derek Fisher looked at this shit and immediately got disturbed. If you don't know what the fuck disturbed is, that's pissed off combined with disturbed. I'm pretty sure
Got a new bird word.
artist and became disturbed.
That's nasty. That's nasty, man.
Look at you tell this nigga look at you tell this nigga look at her.
He had his legs crossed.
Yeah, he got a leg on the knee. He got a leg on the knee.
That's Mac mode, man. That's classic Mac mode.
You know,
That's
you got
nasty,
that
man.
exactly. You know, you got that uncle that's a pimp.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right.
When they come to visit you, how they sit?
Right, just like that. Just like
Man.
that. That's
Just like
nasty,
that.
man.
I'm telling you, you know what?
I think he did. I think he did marry Gloria over the weekend.
That's the order.
He's like one of the kings of being a dirty Mac. This is
Dirty
he's
Mac.
at king level of dirty
Dirty
Mac.
Mac Hall of Fame. Yeah.
He might be the Dirty Mac. Like he really might be the Dirty Mac Thanos, man. Because
Right.
yo,
The Dirty Mac Thanos.
look how he's sitting, man. Like real talk. Like if I ever would have run across Derek Fisher in any regard, like on sight, I don't even that is nasty, man.
Hey, yo, man, if Derek Fisher was to say hi to my wife, I'm probably putting hands on him, man. If he just said, hey, I'm Derek Fisher, we fight. I'm sorry. Hey, yo.
With that dude, man. Mark, do you think he's worse than Karl Malone?
But see, Karl Malone ain't playing. You know what I mean? He ain't playing.
Yeah.
So he can say some foul shit, and then you want to whoop his ass because he said foul shit to your wife. But Derek Fisher is just a dirty Mac, though. He real smooth with it, too.
Man.
Like, listen, even y'all wives, right? Even if it's like, listen, you know what? I love you, Hassan. I love you, Sean. You know I'm not going for that. But they going to tell you, you know, the boy Derek kind of smooth, though. They going to tell you that.
Right. Yo. So, Merv, what do you think he would say in this picture, though? What does this picture tell you?
Why would you ask Merv that? Why would you ask Merv that? You know that's problematic asking Merv that.
In order to catch a criminal, you got to get into a criminal's mind.
I you know what? I strangely want to hear and don't want to hear what he has to say. He think Derek Fisher is doing
Because I don't think our brain house group would allow us to go down that road.
Yeah. I mean, Vanessa's probably talking to Derek about how to manage, you know, the estate and the money.
Right.
You know, I got some ideas, Vanessa.
Right.
Derek, you know, and listen, Derek Fisher's asking her. Derek Fisher's playing that understanding backstab, dirty ass role. That nigga is asking her right now. Hey, so how you coping?
Right. Right. See how Merv said that so. See how Merv got into character. See how he got into character.
Cause you know me and Kobe, we won ships together, so I'm here.
Right. I'm here.
Oh man, that's probably exactly what the fuck he said too, Merv.
That dude ain't worth the ass he sit on.
Hey man, Derek Fisher got to be fucking stopped, man. And I was going to shoot him some bail because he did get married like 2 or 3 days ago or whatever. But I don't think that's enough to stop him, man.
It's not stopping him.
Sean, perfect. What you said, Derek Fisher, the dirty Mac Thanos, man. And I don't know why. It seems like you know you got all these women out there. I'm going to go for women that of basketball players that I played with. Like, I mean, like, how dare you? You gotta be stopped. This motherfucker gotta be stopped, man.
Because
he did the same thing in New York when he was the coach of the Knicks. He did the same exact thing with a couple of players' girlfriends or whatever, wives.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
It's like he can't help himself, man.
Dude, he can't. Like, think about what he did to Matt Barnes, man. Him and Matt Barnes are actually friends. Now he is marrying Matt Barnes' ex-wife.
Right.
This entire time, all this stuff started coming out. They were saying how Derek been talking to him, talking to old girl, like, hey, you know, I don't think Matt really appreciates you like that. Like, this ain't stuff like anything.
Tell me you kidding, man. Tell me you kidding.
I don't think he can appreciate you like I appreciate you because I know your value. Like, come on, Derek.
Listen, Derek was Uncle Derek. Derek went from Uncle Derek to Stepdaddy Derek.
Yes.
That's good bullshit.
Yes.
That's Uncle Derek.
So Derek Fisher theme song is Marvin's Room from Take Care Drake album.
Yes, absolutely. That's
They
it.
done, you know,
Damn.
they
That's
done
it.
got married and then probably on the phone with Vanessa. Yep. Hey, listen, you know, if you need me to come by and check on you later, you know, I
Right.
can do that. You know what I'm saying?
And Mark, he probably called his
Yeah.
marriage. You know, he started messing around with other NBA players, right? The girls. He probably telling me, oh, that marriage thing. He called it a marriage thing. Oh, that marriage thing. That's what he called it. He don't call it
a minor inconvenience. That's a minor inconvenience to him, man. That's it.
He called it a marriage thing. Oh, that marriage thing? Yeah, you know. But anyhow, but anyhow, have you seen the Titanic yet? Like he'll just go random just to deflect, just to get the shit off of him. Like Derek Fisher, man, yo, I feel bad for Matt Barnes. He's the one suffering all of this. He's the one that's suffering from. He's still suffering from this because there's nothing Derek Barnes can do at this. Matt Barnes can do at this time.
Yeah.
And no one has yet put their hands on Derek Fisher. So it makes me think that Derek Fisher can got hands. He may have hands. Like, no.
It's gotta be something, man.
Matt Barnes put his hands on him, but it still ain't stopped Derek from doing what Derek doing.
You got
to put Derek in the hospital. You know what I mean? I don't even know if that would stop him, but you got to have some broken bones. Just a punch in the face, like, is it going to back off? Like, man, you think that mean this blood from my lip gonna make you back off your wife? Like,
hey, yo, like Charlie Murphy said, man, about Rick James, Derek Fisher is an habitual line stepper, man. He's an habitual line stepper. Like, I didn't know he was coming like this, man, but now I'm pissed because y'all know y'all know how much of a Kobe fan I am, but
yeah.
Put that fucking picture back up again, man. Fuck this.
Man, when I saw it, man, I felt a way when I saw it.
Look at this motherfucker, man.
Ain't got the Kango hat on too.
And the Kango hat on.
Okay, let's discuss the hat.
Right.
When you got your legs crossed like that, you leaned off to the side with the Kango. You are in your Mac Day, like Trey said, my Mac Daddy Jimmy mode right there. You know that, like.
You know his hands are like this, right, on the knee. His hands like this on the kneecap. Because his hands are like this, just so he won't lose his grip.
I don't support it.
That's nasty. That's nasty, man. That's nasty.
Definitely.
I was hoping that wouldn't have come up, but we're here now. That took me to a dark space, man, because I was like, this dude is not stopping, man. He's like, he's not out of control. I want somebody to really jump him, man. Like, I really want somebody to jump.
That nigga focused too. You see that nigga face expression?
Man, don't remind me, man. I don't even see the picture no more, man.
Hey, that nigga, hey, eyes on the prize.
Bro, what kind of cologne is he wearing?
Curve.
Of course. Yo, I think he has two different types of cologne on though. I think he's wearing two. I think he's wearing Juke and Curve. I think he mixed them.
Yeah, he's wearing something old school. It's definitely old school. It's not new school. This isn't like, oh, I'm a bump into this. I'm gonna pull this one out. This is going from my rookie year. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Mark, does he have mint in his mouth, or you think he's just going just off the flow? He have mint. Oh, two. Yeah.
So the other side, we can't see it.
We can't see it, right? Because every now and then he'll put it all the way in his mouth and then take it back out. Yeah. Only a 30 Mac, man. This guy, man.
Man, he might even have a mint. It might be one of them strips, one of them Listerine strips. He might have one of them. Yeah.
Listerine strip. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, goes down easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole thing is so unfortunate, man. I don't know what to say, man. This is terrible.
Man. Stacks, I'm gonna kick it back to you, Stacks. Because I'm disgusted right now. I'm gonna share a personal story with y'all if y'all don't mind for 1 minute, so we can.
Go ahead, man. Do that.
I want to uplift the spirits again, man. I had the weirdest dream last night. No cap, no joke. I had a dream that I was at a Milli Vanilli concert. I do not know why, and they were killing it. Like, rest in peace to the dude that died from Milli Vanilli, but they were killing it, and they were playing the same song over and over. They were playing the song I Really Miss You. Remember that song? Girl, I really miss you. Remember that song?
I believe so.
That's
Vaguely.
you to see.
But
The dream is over. Remember that song? And
Yeah.
I never will forget the day we
Oh
met.
yeah.
Girl, I'm gonna miss you. Yo, that song was in my head all day because I had that dream last night that I was at a Milli Vanilli concert. They were rocking it and they played that song every other minute, like they did on Niggas in Paris. And they kept playing it over and over. And for some crazy reason, I was the only one at the concert rocking out with them on stage. I don't know why. I don't know
That
why.
sounds about right. Them having a whole one person in attendance. That sounds right.
Yo, we can know that song. I don't know why that song is in my head right now. I can't get it out my head. I'm trying to filter it out, but I can't because I can even vision the video of the song. So I just want to say that to say this. Shout out to Milli Vanilli. Rest in peace. I think the dude name was Rob, one of them, whatever his name was, the one who committed suicide. Rest in peace to that guy. But shout out to Milli Vanilli, man. I think someone out there should redo the song of Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You. That was a beautiful song, a beautiful ballad. I think it should be redone in 2021 to give the people what they want. So I just want to share that personal story with you guys. I felt vulnerable for a minute because that song popped up in my head again. I do not know why, but it's starting to come all together again. So if I have to go on mute, that's because I have to listen to that song one more time. It's called Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You by Milli Vanilli. It came out circa 88, 89, I think, something like that.
Okay, that was extremely random.
Here's a disclaimer. Yeah, I mean, for Sean's daughter, if you're listening, ask him for money right now because he will say yes.
Yeah, this is a good time. Very good time.
Very good time. Very good time. Ingrid, go ahead.
Yo,
send it down.
I think you know what that shit mean.
Thank you, Ricky. That.
Hey, Ingrid. The last thing Sean told you was a fucking lie. He was faking it.
Whoa!
And that's why that song is subconsciously. Listen, Milli Vanilli. And you know, Milli Vanilli, they lip sync, they faked the whole shit, and it was on repeat. So subconsciously, the last thing that nigga told you,
hey,
don't believe it.
I can't. Hey, that's a pretty good fucking theory, Sean. I'm sorry.
It's a fucking lie. Ingrid,
I'm gonna miss you.
Inspired by Derek Fisher.
Hey, Ingrid.
Ingrid.
Yes, this is the best time to ask you. Whatever he did last time was a fucking lie. Hey, Ingrid. Whatever he did that shit. Guilty as fuck.
Damn, Dirty Max. Y'all some Dirty Max. What's wrong with? How do you get that out of Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You? That song is deep. Like, I don't know why it's in my head.
That shit was random as fuck, Sean. That just came out of fucking nowhere.
It was random. No, not only was it was random after talking about Derek Fisher. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's really not good. That's not a good combination.
Right. That's what I said. Hey, that last thing he told us, fucking lie.
Man, listen. What y'all need to do is play that song. All right.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm just saying, y'all should play that song. All right. That's all I'm saying. Shit. But anyhow, Stacks, I'm gonna kick it back to you, man.
You gonna do
I just open up and be vulnerable, man, and this is what happened. This is why we being attacked right now because we're not unified. You know what I mean? Y'all just prove my point. We're being attacked because our defenses are low. But y'all, that's over y'all head, man. Let's go, man. You know what I mean?
That's over our head.
I'm too deep, man. I'm studying 120 right now, man. Knowledge bomb, man.
You need to drink some orange juice.
knowledge bomb, man. Let's go.
Okay, let's get into the shits, man. Let's bring back. How you doing?
Hello.
So before we get
What's
into the
up,
shits,
y'all?
we chilling. How you doing this evening? I'm being rude.
Good. I'm doing good. Off of work finally. I'm just ready to chat with the guys tonight. It's Wednesday.
That's what's up. I'm like Tommy Strong for the next couple of days. I ain't got no job. Anyway.
Can you file unemployment for 1 week?
That's a good question. I might check into that. But anyway.
Get your money, cousin. Get your money.
No, I don't think I can because I resigned. Anyway, before we get into the shits, we let y'all know we got a kind of a new announcement. We're now available. Our episode is going to be available from this point on Apple Music, so you can go ahead and download it. More platforms coming for all you dirty nasty Android users. We ain't gonna leave you people out. So Android users, you'll be able to download the pod. More information coming. as well. So
We moving
tonight,
up, y'all. We moving up to the east side.
absolutely, absolutely. So tonight's topic is going to be navigating through corporate America, uh, uh, or the workplace while black. This topic came up. It's very near and dear to me because after spending 20 years in the military, I made a transition over into the civilian sector. It's kind of scary when you have a job for that long, security. As long as you don't do nothing really fucking stupid, you're getting paid on the 1st and 15th. You got all the free medical, dental, and all that stuff. You get all the perks that comes with service in the United States military. So they give us kind of like a year to do the transition. They give us these classes and things like that. It's pretty decent, but nothing prepares you more than personal than having people that you can connect with on that side, which a lot of service members do struggle with because a lot of them don't have those relationships before they join the military. All the people that they know, all their supporters, their network, are folks that are in the military, and a lot of them are still in the military when they get out. So they don't have that person to fall on, to help them do that transition. And it's been about 4 years now, going on 4 years since I retired from the military. Fortunately, I have a very outstanding network of people that's guided me along the way. Merv in particular, there's a lot of shit that I would not have known. Uh, I would probably go into interviews like yelling the last four of my fucking social security number, my rank, and all kind of shit like that. But Merv did a pretty good job of prepping me going into the civilian sector. So now that's the first part. But once you secure that job, being that if you are a darker hue, you're black, you're working, you're in corporate America, so you have it's diverse, not as diverse as we'd like to be. We're trying to get it to that point, but working with white people, Hispanics, things of that nature, and there's certain ways that there's certain I guess unwritten rules and things that you have to go through when you're navigating the workplace while black in America. Now, just to give it a little bit of context, you have all these laws, and I'm not going to go over all of them. Whereas a lot of people really don't look at it like we just recently got full rights in the workplace as far as discrimination, as far as race, creed, color, and things of that nature. And I'm not talking about the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but you got some stuff that they had to pass. I think there was one in 91 and stuff like that to give us a fair shot in corporate America. You got affirmative action and things of that nature. But once you get the job, it's kind of like some unwritten rules, so to speak. It's not how you gotta act, but it's so to speak, it's kind of so to speak how you gotta, you know, present yourself and finesse your way, up the corporate ladder and working. So that's my little synopsis on what we're going to be talking about tonight. Now, one of the things I would like to talk about first would be uh, dress code and grooming standards. Now, uh, it's 2021, and y'all know we stylish black folk. We snazzy. We got swag and shit like that, and some of them shits we ain't really trying to give up, even for no damn job or whatever. Now, as of recent, we are winning. We are kind of winning the wars and stuff like that. We're getting a whole lot of leeway as far as, I wouldn't say leeway, but we're having the freedom to express ourselves as far as the way we dress, as far as our hairdos and things of that nature, our male and female. Now, I think Tina had mentioned that on another show about she was going for a job, and this is really pertinent to this show, right? She was going for a job, and they wanted to hire her, and they asked her, would she change her hair color? I don't know how long ago that was, but I think in this day and age, you really employers really got to watch that because you can literally get a lawsuit for shit like because it's a form of It's a form of discrimination.
And she mentioned they also mentioned her nose ring too. She said.
Right. She did mention that as well. So I just want to go around the horn and get y'all take on grooming and dress code, as it pertains to this topic.
Who's going first?
Let's go to Merv first.
It's just it's just like yes, corporate America is a fucking game. It's a game, and you gotta be able to know the game. You gotta learn the rules early.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to learn the rules and then adjust yourself to win within the rules until you get to the point that you don't have to play by the rules. And it does start off with grooming and dress in the workplace. Let's not be naive, because based off the way your groom is and your dress, you're going to be judged. Now, before we even get there, before we even get to the workplace, you gotta be groomed and dressed appropriately on the interview.
Right.
Yep.
We can't skip that, because like in certain colors, a certain protocol. Black, blue, gray, and that's for men and women. Black, blue, or gray are the colors you want for an interview.
Navy.
Well, that falls on the blue. So
dark
when
colors.
you when you go interview, then you also we don't need strong perfume. We don't need strong cologne. No flashy jewelry. All right. If you're gonna wear an earring, you need to be something small. No nose ring. And then you got some companies that like Stacks just said, you got some companies that will look at the color of your hair or look at the length of your hair, because there's been people that have locks that's going on interviews and they've been asked about the locks or tell them we have a certain hair policy is you gotta cut your locks, or if you have a beard, your beard have to look a certain way or gotta be groomed, or some companies you have to cut your damn beard, believe it or not. Not just military, some corporate companies require you to cut your beard and have it either like a goatee or very low. And like these are everything I just mentioned. Most time the challenges fall within the African American community, because that a lot of that is our culture, as far as like our hair, our beards, how we dress. But like I said, you're starting with the interview. You have to dress accordingly. You have to groom accordingly right now until you become in position that you don't have to follow the rules. So the first rule is learning the rules of how to interview, how to present yourself in an interview, even before you get into corporate America.
You know what, Merv, I'm very glad you said that. I'm going to bring up an example. I just went through a hiring process, and I was kind of I had a lot of anxiety about it. I was reaching out to Sean and Merv a whole lot for these reasons. I like to have I got the little, I like to, sponge my hair or whatever, have the curls or whatever. And I got kind of like not a long bushy beard, it was a lot longer than this, but I literally asked them brothers, okay, should I shave my shit down? Should I cut my hair? I didn't want to cut all my hair off, but I mean, I would have done it, if they had advised me to do that. But is that, and some people may think that, damn, that you kind of like selling out for the job. But how do y'all feel about that? I mean, I'm just telling y'all how I felt during that time. Like, I literally was thinking, maybe I should shave my shit down. Maybe I should cut all of my hair off to a low, like little, a low fade or whatever. But is that like, I mean, I guess it depends on the individual as far as whether they were willing to do that shit for the job. How do y'all feel about that?
Well, I mean, it not only depends on the individual, but the job as well. It depends on what job you're going for. Just like what Merv said, every company has a right to want to determine what the look of their job is. That's why all Target employees wear red polos, khakis. That's their uniform. You have people who, like most Old Navy workers usually have on jeans or some kind of Old Navy. They have to wear, Old Navy clothes. It's all these kind of things that go into why a company will choose a certain type of dress policy, hair policy. And with women, it's even worse with women, because when you're dealing with women, you're dealing with the excessive makeup, you're dealing with the long lashes, you're dealing with the nails. You're not only dealing with the hairstyle, but the hair color, pink hair, yellow hair, blue hair, purple hair. I've seen all of this at my job. And my job is supposed to be business casual. But we all know that depending on the type of job you have, some are customer facing. Like if you work at a branch, they may not want you in there with your purple wig. They may not want Nicki Minaj coming to work every day. They're not going to want that if you're facing customers every day. But if you work at a particular building and you don't have to deal with customers and you kind of have a job where it's just you and a computer, they may have a more easier dress code because you are not facing anybody. So it all really depends. I think some jobs really get to be oppressive with some of the things that they want their workers to. It's like they want robots. They want machines coming to work every day. They don't allow for the expression in your clothing or in your hair. And just like also what Murph said, most of the things that they do not want, like the do not list, is usually pertaining to cultures. They never say anything about religious headgear because they don't want those type of issues. But I can't wear a hat. But if I don't have anything else, and I don't want to show my hair that day, they'll say something about my hat. But if I was to show up in a hijab, they wouldn't say anything about it. So I think most companies pick and choose when they want to implement a rule and stick by it or not. Because I've seen some stuff. I think you really should. I think all jobs should have a policy, because if not, you'll have people that would just run amok and come to work all kinds of ways.
I like Ingrid's last comment, and I think this is pretty much how we roll. I wouldn't say it's an immediate thing, but most people once they get a job and they learn the company and things of that nature, they start to relax a little bit. They see what you can get away with and what you can't.
Right.
But it's unfortunate that we as Black people, I just don't. Reason I brought this up because I don't think that this is a problem that white people typically have to deal with. It. I think it's just restricted to us and Hispanics. Really, I mean, I guess you could say, average when you're talking about wearing, what do they call it, kufi or whatever. What do you call the
hijab?
Hijab. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it's just really unfortunate that it gets to that point. But when you're really trying to get that job or whatever, you're trying to get that bag, some people just willing to do that, for the time being. Some people got to do it for an extended period of time because some companies are really serious about their dress code. Now, another problem that women run into, and I know the fellas, I know y'all, I know everybody, not just the fellas. Women have to deal with as far as dress code. As far as some women are just shapely, they can wear anything, and that thing will be poking out. I mean, that's just that. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And you have companies that will literally indirectly try to ask a woman, "Hey, could you?" I mean, they're not gonna be direct about it because it can bring about lawsuits and stuff like that. But I think that's another thing that Black women in particular have to deal with, as far as because some Black women, they can wear anything and they're gonna have protrusion. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say something. It's gonna go against what the fuck the topic is, but the only time I've seen Black women have in the workplace have problems with their dress, like let's say they're bodily, you can't help it because it's just their genes. When I say genes, I'm talking about GENE, not JEAN. It's just their body is naturally built like that. Only time I see Black women have that problem is when it's a Black woman manager.
And that's
I've never seen when it was a white male manager or a Black male manager. I've never seen a Black woman have that problem until is a black female manager. That's the only time I've seen that problem in all my years of even in corporate America.
I wonder
That's because that black
Merv, why do you
manager.
think? I'm glad you brought that up, Merv. Why do you think that is? I try to put you out
I
there,
know what you think,
but you got vast experiences in these corporate streets, my nigga. So I mean, speak on it.
But that part not even dealing with the corporate. That's more of an insecurity amongst that manager and that female person. Usually, some kind of insecurity. It's more of a personal insecurity matter between that affects that right there. But what they would do,
usually haters.
They would use corporate tactics under their personal, because then you be like, well, based off the dress code, you are here showing too much body, you're inappropriate dress, that dress is too high, this dress is too tight, and they start documenting all that stuff when the real problem is an insecure or is a jealousy issue, or a guy that both of them may be interested in the same guy, but you have the power to be like, yo, boom, 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 with your subordinate.
So
but you know what, Merv, that works on the opposite too, because you have women that are being that management position, and men, sometimes even women, will use that woman's body against her to say, go out with me for a promotion, or they would try to hit on her and she will say no, and it affects her progression at the job. So all those things play into each other as well. And you, like my manager at my job from Charleston, older black woman from Charleston, she's shaped like a pear. So it don't matter if she wrapped in a curtain, you will still see her bottom because she's very shapely. And she talks like she's from Charleston. So she's a manager. So when she walks into the room, and she's tall, so it's all kind of things that can be intimidating to her manager counterparts, who are all men, and none of them are black. So you have those issues, and it usually is hate. It usually is somebody hating and saying, you know what, her clothes was really tight, and they'll mention it in such a way where somebody else will overhear the conversation and go straight to HR.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have ways of doing that. I've seen it.
So to bring this back home, that is a way that some of us use corporate America against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
True. True.
Wow.
It's serious.
So moving right along, let's talk about suppressions of emotions in the workplace. Now, I've been in meetings and things of that nature. I'm gonna tell y'all a short story. I was working at a plant. I was supervising temps in a plant in Florence, South Carolina, and I had two white females on my team. One I was kind of mentoring, and she was kind of an easy target for our customer who we were serving, to try to come at her and stuff like that. So they made her cry one day, and we were discussing it. And I was defending her. I got kind of loud, and I noticed that the white people in the room, it's kind of like they got shook. And the white guy told me, "You need to calm down, Hyson." And I was like Cuddy on fucking Dead President, fucking calm. What you mean calm? And the thing is, like, it's almost as if you can say whatever it is you want and show your emotion, but as soon as I give you that energy back, it's like, it's the angry black man syndrome. Oh, you one of those right now. I think that's a war that we fight on. I mean, it's not just us. It's like females as well. If a woman have a disagreement with a male, whether it's white or black, she's going to be looked at as that angry female manager. So I think that's an issue that both men and women have, black men and black women have in the workplace, because you're not allowed to match the energy that you're being given from your white counterpart.
But they're very passive aggressive. If you notice, white, especially, and I'm gonna say it plain because I don't sugarcoat. White women in the workplace are very passive aggressive, and that shit is antagonizing. So what they will do is say some slick shit, and because you can't respond with the same way, or you have to also then be passive aggressive or be colorful with your words, they'll automatically get offended and go to HR. So the trick is that you have to kind of figure out a way to express yourself without being offensive, but still be authentic. And playing that game in the corporate world is crazy. I don't like the corporate world, even though I'm part of it. I do not like corporate politics. They annoy the hell out of me. They annoy the hell out of me.
So I have a question, Mark. Is it? I'm not going to say. Is it problematic for us to match that energy, knowing the cards that's dealt against us? I mean, we have. I think we have every right. When you give it to me, I should be able to give it back. But I mean, that's just. Do you think that's problematic?
I mean, I feel like this, right? It's like you can't really give it in the way that you would normally give it. And I like, and that, like, you know, when you faced with that for the first time, especially it's just like, all right, so, you know, your first corporate job or whatever, and you type of, I guess, little thing with one of y'all, me, where, you know, your white counterparts, you know what I mean? They might have been there for a little bit, right? So you just like, all right, I really want to go at his neck, but I can't go at his neck. You know what I'm saying? But you'll start to find ways to be like, all right, yo, you know what? I can go at him, but I just gotta, you know what I mean, do it like in this other kind of way. But I can still get my point across. And you start to work on those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, the way that, you know, when I was in corporate, I started in corporate, right? You know, like anybody else, you green, you thinking like, all right, I got hired by this company, let me do the best job I can do. Let me help the company the best way I can, blah, 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 blah. But then you see all the party politics that goes on at the job. And then, you know, they try to poke you a little bit, right? You know, because they want you to actually be the angry black man. They want you to be that guy, but then you don't end up being that guy. You're just kind of playing the game with them, right? So it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't gonna back down, but he's smart. I might use him on this. So I would say you gotta learn that game. Whatever game is going on at the job, you gotta learn it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it might not even be something work related. You know what I'm saying? I had a conversation, you know, that was totally like not even about work, but it ended up being a situation where, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, yo, like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of being a black, white type of thing. Like, you know, what would you do? Or this is what I would do or something like that. But you still got to know how to navigate those waters. You know what I'm saying? You know, and if you do that and you kind of come out pretty well with it, you're going to end up being okay because you know how to play the game. But you got to know how to play this game. Just see how the company's set up. Ain't nobody your friend there. You know what I'm saying? And then see what you're going to do. And that's how you move.
And Mark, to you, I got a short story. I think I might have told Merv about this with my former company that I used to work for. I got called into the office one day to the operations manager, and no lie, this is what she said. She was like, "Hyson, someone said that you said something offensive, you know, in the office, and we just wanted to find out, you know, if you have anything going on, what's wrong, is there anything we can help you with?" I was like, well, what did I say? Because I was the guy, I was kind of like the comic relief guy. I like to keep shit, you know, funny in the office and shit like that while I'm working. I mean, everybody got an office person like that. But she wouldn't really give me no details. I was like, well, who said it or whatever. And I'm not being like, I'm not like mad or nothing like that, because I wanted to know what I said and who said it, so I can, you know, apologize or whatever. Because I'm playing the game, right? I'm playing the game. I knew it was some bullshit, but I'm playing the game. So she told me, I can't tell you what you said, and I can't tell you who said it.
So
I'm
why are we
pissed off.
talking?
Right, I'm pissed off at this point though, but I didn't say that, Rebecca, because to me that's kind of combative. Like, why the fuck you got me in here then? I mean, this is like elementary school shit. That's what I felt like saying.
I would have
But
said it.
this is what I told her. I was like, well, I am sorry for what I said to whoever I said it to. Now, some people would see it as a cop out, but you know what I did after that? I was all fucking business in the office. I wasn't, hey, I was like, hey, how y'all doing? Good morning and shit like that. And it became a problem. Like, damn, what's wrong with Hyson? Like, he's usually the fucking energy guy that's
Yeah.
trying to. And I felt like I was being tested or whatever to see if the angry black guy was going to come out. I felt like that what it was. Am I missing something? That's how I felt like Merv. Am I missing something on that? Because it's like it's almost like I felt like I was inside my head like, did they get together in a meeting and say we gonna get the nigga to come out? We gonna get the nigga to come out in this office so we can fire this motherfucker. That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
I wouldn't be surprised though.
You're
It
not
was
giving me.
presented as
You're not giving me the information.
It was so hurtful.
And I
And-
think that everybody knows me enough on this pod to know that I need the information. I need the information so I can process it and then go from there. So I was pissed, but I played the game.
So here's the thing, right? You most of the time in corporate America, you're not gonna get the information. You're not going to you're not going to get the if an accusation was made or not accusation. Let's say somebody went to the manager and said something about you. You're not going to get that information, and you do have to suppress your feelings in corporate America. I know somebody right now that she's a fucking beast at her job. When I tell her what to do, she's a branch manager. She's a beast at her job. Every production goal that they have given her to have her team, for her and her team, she has hit it. She has exceeded it. And she has years of sampling of being a beast at getting her team the bonus, and getting herself the bonus, and getting the branch the bonus. But she has not been able to get promoted or moved up because she does not know how to play a game. Listen, she has peers. She is when she first got she came in this industry as a branch manager. She hired somebody that came under her that she trained. All right. Right now, that same person that she trained a couple years ago, it was a white female. She now is a regional manager over her. But she responds in ways that she shouldn't. She challenges a lot of stuff that she shouldn't. And she just have a hard time playing the game. And right now she's blackballed. And she, qualification-wise, she should have moved up by 2 or 3 levels now and probably be like a district manager over a state because she's a beast. But her mouthpiece is not there. Her relationship building is not there. Her responses is not there. She does not suppress her emotions, which have kept her stalemated in her position. So I know a lot of us, especially in our culture, be like, yo, I wouldn't accept that as a cop out. I would have responded. I would have said this. I would have said that. And that's fine. But you also need to be fine with being blackballed or being stuck in that position that you are at. And so, like, you never know who's who either. Like, your peer could be great friends with your manager. Or your peer could be great friends with the regional manager.
I have to.
You got to be able to manage yourself accordingly for like your feelings and your natural responses. Until you get in position to where it won't affect you. But until you get in that position, that's the game that we in with corporate America.
Yeah, you get you gotta learn how to play it.
That's disappointing because it seems like it's a double-edged sword simply because if you want to move up and you want to climb that corporate ladder, it's some shit that you just gotta take.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to just keep it a buck and just be like, yo, fuck that. I'm great at my job. I'm not gonna cave into corporate America. I'm gonna do me, and they just gotta take me as I am. That's fucked up because you got your pride, you got all of that, but you ain't got the promotions, and you're gonna continue to see people that you are that less qualified than you, that are much less working than you. A much lower producer than you climb the corporate ladder. Now, Merv, like you said, as far as friends and shit like that, that's the situation I'm leaving. I can say this shit now. I'm not with the employer. Not with my not with my former supervisor, but the one when I first started working in my former company. Like the people that she surrounded herself around that she gave positions to were her friends. And what was common is that all of them were kind of trash employees. But because they were friends, they got those positions. Which is why you get in a situation like that. You're dealing with an office where you only have a certain amount of people, a select few that, and I'm talking from her aspect. She knows who her heavy hitters are.
Yeah.
So she keep her friends close, but her heavy hitters, she's going to use them to her advantage. Because she knows they're going to produce for her. But but her friends, they're in positions where they have to do very little work. They're not held accountable for their actions and shit. For case in point, I was called in to train an employee of a manager. When I went into the office, that manager was there. I don't know about y'all, but if I'm a manager and they're calling somebody in to train my employee, I'm kind of upset about that. Like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like something I need to know. But when I got in the office, she was like, "Hey, Hyson, you're here to train my employee? Okay, cool." I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Why the fuck am I still with this company? Like, if I'm training this motherfucker, I should be a manager." You know what I'm saying?
Well, honestly, that's common. That's
trash
common.
too.
Yeah, because there's been places I've worked. A lot of times they will have you'll have maybe one is the most reliable or the best producing. One depending what industry you're in, is the most reliable or the best producing employee to train a new employee and show them the ropes, and like so that new employee, they got a question, will go to that veteran that's there, that's good at their job. So that's very common. That's probably about 75% of the time it goes that way. That's common.
And you know what, Merv? What I experienced to add to that is when you train the person who's above you.
That happened too.
There was somebody that was at my job that was hired to be a manager, and they were coming from outside the company. So normally, first time, the job will try to hire from within, and or if they want more diversity or whatever the reason, they'll hire from without. This particular person came from another company, had never worked for our company at all, and needed to know our policies. My manager asked me to ask this person to shadow me for like a week, just to know exactly what to do. She wasn't going to be my manager, but she was going to be a manager. So someone, in case I needed somebody to go to outside of my own manager, she would be another one of those people. And she had to literally shadow me and watch me do my job, ask me all the questions and everything that she needed to know to be able to manage another group of people that do the same thing that I do. And that part is aggravating as hell, because how am I training you? Like, don't the job come, like when they hired you, didn't they give you some type of training? Why is your training coming from me, who eventually I have to tell you what to do, how to do the job? And then later on, you'll be able to tell me if I did or did not do it right, or manage me, or be able to write up somebody, or do all these kind of things. And you didn't even know the job. You had to be taught it from us.
Well, I don't know how
it's aggravating.
So I don't know how your company is as far as like the training, but you got a lot of companies where the training is textbook. It's not practical. It's textbook. Where it's different from it's still slightly different from on the job training, as far as like when you actually start doing it. Like they teach you the terminology, they teach you the process. But when you actually get out of training, you still need somebody to show you how to apply it. So,
but
with
my
some
point is they
companies,
could have had another manager show her. They didn't have to have her sit with somebody who she would eventually have to be in charge of.
That's not a good look.
So let's be real. So let's be real. Let me ask y'all this: I've been in several corporate companies, right? I've never been to any. I don't think I've ever been to any corporate job where the manager did the training. I've never been one. I've never been one where the manager actually performs the training.
And usually the manager don't even know what's going on. Like for real,
the managers don't know what's going on. My point exactly.
Well,
hold on. Well, let me say this. So here's the thing, right? Let's be 100. You're right. A lot of times the managers don't know what's going on, but managers are not hired to be subject matter experts. Managers are hired to make sure that the team under them produce, hit bonus, and meet the goals. So you don't have to be a subject matter expert to be able to get a team under you to reach their goals.
Yep.
So that's another.
I figured that part out early too.
So that is very true. But if you're my manager and I'm having a question about the job, you are supposed to know how to manage me in regards to my job. If you don't know, then what good are you?
You just change the narrative because they ain't training. Then that's different. But yes, if you as an employee, if you got a question about the job for like managing, then yes, the manager should be able to handle that.
Yeah,
right. And that's why my job does both. They do the textbook part. They sit you in front of a bunch of videos and make you watch it and pass tests online. And then they also allow you to do hands-on. And usually the hands-on part is towards the end of your training. So they do both. They do both. But just like what Tyson said, they don't have to actually know the job. They just have to be able to tell you to do the job. And I think that is very counterproductive. I do not like that at all, because if I have a question about something, I'm supposed to be able to, exactly, Ingrid, go to you and say, hey, I'm having a question about this. What do I do? If that manager tells me I don't know, let me go find somebody else, I lose respect for you. I'm sorry.
A good manager ain't gonna tell you that. They ain't gonna let you know that they don't know. They gonna find out.
Your honesty, and I'm gonna appreciate your honesty and have you not tell me, oh, do this, and do this, and you know that's not what to do. I appreciate the honesty. However, I now know I can't come to you with anything.
Man, I'm gonna tell you like this. As far as managing, what I would do, I was like, hey, Becca, check this out. I gotta go and I gotta go sit in on this meeting. I will get right back with you in about 30 minutes. And if I don't know, I'm gonna find out. And I'm gonna find out pretty quick, and I'm gonna be able to tell you what to do. A manager, and I think this relates. I think this is where the military and the and Merv, you be able to Mark or Becky, you be able to correct me. But as far as managers, when it comes to the military, a manager, textbook definition of the military leadership is someone that's able to get people to do what needs to be done by providing direction, purpose, and motivation, which brings that point whereas a manager doesn't have to know anything, but a manager has to be somebody that has an uncanny ability to motivate people to do the job. It's ways that you can it's ways you know how to motivate people, and great managers know how to individually motivate people, because some people are motivated most people are motivated differently than others. So I think that may be the same case. That it could be the same case as far as the civilian sector as well.
Look, to me, long as you ain't a micromanager, you know what I mean, we good. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, just let me handle business. You know what I'm saying? And we good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I had managers, like, look, just go ahead and get the job done. Oh man, those are my kind of managers right there because I'm already like when I'm getting the job, I'm already trying to scheme to see how I'm gonna make this thing benefit for me. I'm already looking at all the angles like, yo, how can I do that? And especially if it's some field work involved, right? Oh man, if the job had field work, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I would sell that thing good so I could be out the office all day on your dime. You know what I'm saying? I would do it too. You know what I'm saying? I actually reverse sold some shit where I said like, yo, I want to be downtown Philly, Center City, to do, to work with these clients, whatever, do this and that. And they gave it, to this other girl who was like a little inexperienced or whatever. And it was just like, I don't know, like you need to be like in, Mark, you need to be like in another side of town, where it's like a little more tougher, and it's a little more harder to deal with. I think get a guy for the job. Well, if you think so, right? Man, shit, I'm over in Southwest Philly chopping it up with the clients. My peoples live on the other block. I'm chilling. Y'all got to pay me, for real, and I'm chilling, right? So sometimes, you got to navigate your own way and find what work for you on the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, man, long as you come back with the results, your man won't care how you got it. You know what I mean? As long as you
Right.
get it. You know what I'm saying?
I think that great managers, at some point, you have to macromanage, but I think it needs to be selective. If you got a team, your team. If you work with it for a while, that there's always that one or two on a team that you might have to check in with and make sure they're doing it the right way. But when you have some managers that will try to macromanage the whole team, and that creates a toxic work environment. Like if I'm doing my job and shit like that, I don't need you giving me all that shit. I don't need you giving me that energy that you giving a motherfucker that's barely making it, ain't meeting the metrics or falling by the wayside and shit like that. That shit that I don't need. And managers gotta be critical thinkers, and they gotta be able to know. They gotta have those interpersonal skills to be able to know their people, to decide which ones you have to micromanage and which ones you don't. Because just to keep it a buck, there are some people that you have to micromanage a little bit.
Yeah,
I disagree.
But I'm like, man, with a micromanager, if you have one, I would say like this: you got to find out. It's almost, you're doing your scouting report. You got to find out, what their little weaknesses is or their little weak spot, so you can just keen in on that shit. Use that to your advantage. And do what you got to do. I just like, man, you got to run this motherfucking game on them. All day long, man. You know what I'm saying? So that way you can get them on your side. I had a lady like that. She would just want to micromanage. She just wanted to feel important. All right, sweetheart, you know what? I'm gonna make you feel important. You know what I mean? I got you. You know what I mean? Shoot. So stuff that I already knew, I would go to her like I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And she was just like, Mark, if you do it like this, I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm
the finesse.
Yeah, right.
Little finesse.
She feeling good about herself or whatever. I'm like, look, you want a cup of coffee? I'm about to go and grab me a tea or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Slide.
You laid it on thick, Mark. You was laid it on thick.
Listen, we running game on the job. I like, look, just in the street, we running the same shit. But my homie told me that they were just like, yo, make them play your game. Don't play their game, make them play your game. All right, you know what I mean? Shit.
That's a good point. Don't play their game, make them play your game. I like that, Mark.
But I have a very unpopular opinion on that.
Go ahead.
Because I think that's where sometimes we get caught up into the minutia of being micromanaged. I'm not a micromanager. I don't like to be micromanaged, but I like to be managed up, right? And I like to manage up. And what I mean by that is there's an expectation to get the job done regardless of where you're at. And you give people a leash, a lot of times they're going to take advantage of that, and they're not going to get better. They're not going to get effective. They're not going to get stronger, and they'll be stuck. And then they'll be the ones really saying, well, I can't make it up the ladder because they don't like me, when you're not pushing that person or being pushed because they don't want to be micromanaged. One of my best leaders that I've ever had, he wasn't a micromanager, but he made me work hard to earn his trust, where he didn't have to follow back up on what I was doing. And I adopted that style, where to the point where I was more focused on not disappointing him, where it made me sharper because I wanted to learn more so I can take away the alleviate the stress off of him. And one of those things that you learn as you grow into in corporate America, especially when you come from a background like Stack said, we came from a military background. One thing I had to learn the hard way was to always be authentic to myself and not get caught up into if I'm selling out so in some regard. Because I remember the people who would say you sell out, they're the ones who are not moving up. They're the ones who are stagnant because they're too real, right? And you can be real to yourself, but you also have to be in a position where you put yourself in a position to not only learn it, but also put yourself in a situation where you can overcome the nonsense that happens and filter in and filter out. And I say that because I never was a fan of being micromanaged or micromanage anyone myself, but I felt like you had to earn the opportunity to not be micromanaged. Let's be honest. You guys have seen people in your jobs like, man, how does person still work here? Like how
Yes, like they should have been fired a long time ago.
Like a long time ago. Mark, you probably got a crew that y'all be talking on the side, like riding the clock. You know what I mean? Talking about the Eagles' loss on Sunday night at home. You know what I mean? Riding the clock. But you feel like, man, I should still be here, although we ain't doing shit right now. I still deserve to have a spot. So I've always felt like in order to not be micromanaged, you have to earn the right not to be micromanaged. You got to show that you can do it without being watched. That just it's unpopular, but that's how I've always felt.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I want to respond. I want to respond to both Mark and Sean. I want to respond to Mark first. That's so Mark, that the story you just gave as far as like you realize that even though you might know the answer, you go ask just to give them a chance to tell you what to do, and you realize that made them feel good. Yo, that's brilliant. But you got a lot of times when people be like, that's kissing ass. And is this phrase talking about I ain't kissing ass at nobody's job. And that phrase has kept a lot of people, like Sean just said, stagnant as fuck, not moving up.
Hey.
And not moving up. Yo, that's not about kissing ass. That's about the same way that managers need to know their personnel. You as an employee need to know your manager and your upper management. That's called relationship building, and that's called building that bridge right there. For example, when Sean said it's some people that are like, yo, how the fuck they still work here? A lot of those people that you be like, yo, how the fuck they still work here?
Playing the game.
Built a bridge, and they have built a relationship with upper management or the decision maker for them to be able to stay working there. So even as an employee, it's ways for you to build relationships without kissing ass. Some people might say what Mark did was kissing ass. No, it wasn't. That's really corporate politics played to its finest as a fucking employee. You know what I mean? For example, like when Beck was training a new manager coming in, you could use that as an opportunity to build that network with the new manager. This is a new manager. She has, as of right now, she has no relationships, no loyalty to nobody. If you train a new manager, you can use that as your end right there, plant that seed, build that relationship. She could come to you, he or she come to you, and let's say that manager move up. Guess who the fuck he or she's going to look at next to help move up? The one that trained them. So if you just keep your mind open,
you a little smart, Merv.
You can look at a lot of smart. If you just keep your mind open in the corporate world, there's so many different opportunities that you can use to your advantage without them knowing that you're using them to advantage. Now, to Sean's point, you're right. But I think there's a difference between micromanaging and managing up. Micromanaging to me is like, yo, I tell you to do something at 9 a.m. and like by noon you asking, did you do it? Yo, I mean, give me at least give me a chance to fail. That's 3 hours. All right. But if I give you a project to do Monday 9 a.m. and by let's say by the end of business day, you be like, yo, you good? How you gonna work on that project? Yeah, I'm good. All right. We check in again the next by end of business day tomorrow. That's just more of a and you can have it saying this accountability check. And when you managing up, as a manager, you see potential in all your different employees. You see what this person has potential to do, what this employee has potential to do. So as you're talking to them, you may be talking to them a little frequent, but you need to let them know, like, yo, there's big things in you. So I'm letting you know right now, I'm going to push you. I'm going to be the hardest manager you ever had. And I had somebody do that to me. You let me know up front. So if you let them know up front, yo, I'm going to be the hardest manager you had because I'm going to get your potential out of you. I'm going to get you to that next level. So while I'm doing that, it's going to be accountability checks. I hold you accountable. I also want you to hold me accountable as well. Like, yo, if I'm not managing you hard or something, you done got bored or you done mastered this, like, yo, I need something else. Help me grow. So it's different ways to communicate. So it won't be micromanaging, but it'll be managing up if you let your employees know in advance that I see potential in you and I'm going to get the best out of you. So it's also different. So like it's different levels as far as like micromanaging and managing up. It's totally different. So that's one thing. You got to know your personnel and communicate with your personnel as well.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's switch lanes real quick. That's good shit. Let's talk about some common myths about Black employees in the workplace.
Oh,
who want to go first?
This is good.
Before we go into this, I find it quite funny because I'm going to go ahead and go off with one, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this. Like I always think about this because I hate that stereotype that Black people are lazy. The reason I hate that is because Black people are lazy.
We built this world.
Well, I'm about to dive into that. Black people are lazy, but we had white people that, you know what? I don't feel like building America. Let's go to Africa and steal some fucking slaves and have them do all the work for free. So I always tell people, motherfucker, we don't break. If you think I'm lazy, we don't fucking break for our ancestors. So I don't think that's what I always say as far as the whole lazy thing. But y'all know that's a common myth about Blacks and Hispanics in the workplace. What are other myths that you guys might have heard or captured in the workplace for Black people?
I'll tell you one thing, right? If you're Black, right, and it seemed like, and you have clients or you have certain businesses, that you might work with, right? Well, if they're like, I don't know, like businesses that are in the hood or whatever, right? Oh, let's put the Black guy on it because he know how to talk to his people. Like, now I had that happen to me before where it's just like, I'm like, man, I wanted to work I wanted to work in the Center City district, you know what I'm saying? And then they put me, in Southwest Philly. And I'm like, it's cool, but you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I just wanted to get some more experience, with the Center City district because I didn't really have a bunch of work experience or work with the clients down there as much. I worked, because y'all had me in North Philly. I don't think I'm gonna get to Center City, then you move me out Southwest. But it was just like, yo, Mark, man, that's your people right there, right? White guy said this to me, right? That's your people right there. I'm like, he was like hype about it and happy about it. I'm like, in my mind is like saying, what you mean my people, right? And I'm just like, man, so he didn't know where I was from, right? So I'm like, well, yo, you know what you mean, like my people? I'm like, I don't really even know this part of town that well. He's just like, yeah, but you know, I see you in the office. You know how to adapt with everybody, you know. So I'm quite sure you could do a really good job out there. And this Center City thing, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna give it to Becky over here. But you know what I'm saying? You know, we'll find a way to kind of squeeze you in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. But that was a blessing in disguise because I'm just like, man, I was able to do business over there and do my thing over there, right? So I'm just like, but just the way he said it though to me, she was like, man, that's your people right there. Like, wait a minute, hold up, white boy. Like, yo, you don't got to be all giddy about it though.
He was excited.
You know.
Hey, Mark, the fucked up part about it is, man, that is absolutely true. When I started working for my former company, I was an in-office recruiter, right? But we had, you know, temps that we hired, that we sent out to plants, but we sent an account manager, as we call them, out to manage those temps. So about 2 months in, I'm like, it was like, hey, I said, we look at your resume, we see you got some management experience. We're gonna send you out, you know, to this plant. Now I'm coming from the military, so I mean, I'm like, cool. I mean, I'll go out there. 99% of the people that we put at these plants are actually black folks, and it's like, I felt like Joe Clark going into East Side High, bro. I mean, it's like, and I kind of look at it like, but the thing is, it worked because I am from the hood. You know what I'm saying? And the people that these are low wage salaries, and these are people that I know their story. I know where they're coming from. And the thing is, that made them feel like when they got into a situation, I was able to relate to them. So I don't know if it's more so. I don't know if it's more so like. I think it's a smart business strategy, to be perfectly honest with you, from those folks, because they sent me in there and all of the temps is like, yeah, Mr. Heisen, he cool as shit, blase, blase, blase. And but at the same time, I hold the motherfuckers accountable like a motherfucker as far as being late. Y'all know I'm about the fucking time shit. And you know, but I know what it takes to build our people up that are at that level. And I was really effective with that. And I was sympathetic to a lot of their needs. You got folks that's working there, single mothers, single fathers, and you know, it wasn't no sob story and stuff like that, but I felt a lot of the shit they were coming from based on, you know, my background and where I grew up. So I don't know if it was a case of, you know, we gonna send them in there, you know, because them his people, or we need to send him in there because he can relate to them better. I can't really call it, you know, I can't really call it a finesse on their parts. I think it's just smart business practices, in my opinion.
Man, let me ask y'all a question, right? And I'm asking the whole group. I mean, you can't tell me at least one time on your job that you ain't feel that way. You know, remember that Dave Chappelle skit? You know what I mean? When the boy told like, yo, give me 5, Dave, right? And then Dave got mad that when keeping it real goes wrong. Like, yo, you can't tell me you ain't want to respond like Dave at least one time, right? At least I did. I know we didn't respond like that, but you can't tell me it wasn't in your mind at least once. Because I know it was a few times.
Mark, it's funny you said that.
Like, really. You know,
man, it's funny you say that, man, because I was honestly thinking about that when Stacks had sent over the topic of the show. That was the first thing that came to my head. That actual skit. I don't know why. But I'll be honest, man. Like, even to that skit point, I felt like I carried myself in a fashion where it wouldn't be comfortable for someone to do that to me in a meeting. And I say that because, man, I owe so much to being on recruiting duty for my career, man, because I've learned how to carry myself a certain way around a lot of people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, etc. And I learned a lot of that when I was on recruiting duty because you had to be around certain people. You had to be around, and you had to be very, not so much as cunning, but you had to be approachable. And you had to also carry yourself with a respect level that made people it made it hard for people to want to make any kind of any kind of remarks or anything that would make you look, feel uncomfortable, right? And the reason why I say that is because I honestly worked hard at not focusing on that BS, man, because that shit can get crazy. Because you're seeing things like, I don't agree with that, I don't agree with that, I don't agree with that, but you can't internalize that shit. And even to that Dave Chappelle skit when he was like, "Man, get your fucking hand in my face, man." Get the hand down. Like, yeah, there's moments where I can see that can happen, but it's also where you kind of like build a certain persona where it makes it, you want somebody to feel uncomfortable if they feel that they can do that to you. In my opinion, it's still going to happen. It's still going to happen, but you got to make it uncomfortable for it to happen.
Well, Mark, I will tell you this, man. Here's something that annoyed me with my former employer. My manager would always say how, "Oh man, Hyson is this and Hyson is that and Hyson is wonderful. You know, he does this and he does that." These are all things that I know about myself. But I was thinking to myself, I mean, I don't know if this is like, me trying to be woke or shit and playing with myself, playing, overanalyzing shit in my head. But I was thinking to myself, how the fuck am I supposed to be? Like, what you thought? Like, I mean, why are you saying this to your white employees as well? How wonderful they are? Like, it's almost as if it's almost as, I want to ask you, like, what did you expect? Did you expect me to be, a lazy motherfucker that's late, that's gonna, and shit like that? Because I mean, although she thought it was a compliment, I never approached her on this, but it always annoyed me when she told me how wonderful I was and this, that, and the third. So I always thought, how the fuck am I supposed to be? I'm raised like this. I'm built like this. Like, I mean, this is me. I mean, it's almost as like she was saying, you're not. She should have may as well say, you're not like the other ones. That's how I felt about her saying, I'm so fucking wonderful all the time. I mean, am I wrong for thinking that way though?
No, because it comes across that way. That's that passive aggressive shit that I was telling you about. Oh, you read so well.
And I know I'm great. I mean, the shit is, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I know I'm that dude. I know that. You ain't got to keep saying that shit. Like, I mean,
so good.
I'm trying to tell you.
But you're not telling the little white dude in the corner this shit. I mean, he's trash.
Right.
But do you tell him that?
They say shit. I don't have to tell you anything twice. You do exactly what you're told.
That's that bullshit. Yeah, exactly. That's how it sounds. That's how they sound too. That's how the fuck they sound too.
That's exactly how it sounds.
I said, you're just like, so wonderful.
It's almost like they want to say, I'm so shocked that you're good at this. Wow, you're really good at this, Mr. Brown. I would have, you know what? Every time I need help, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah, like I need attaboys and fucking pats on my head and shit like that. Nah, this is me.
I can't stand it. When you mention about certain myths, one thing I really hate is when they think that we are always trying to scheme the system. Like the only reason we're doing good or that we know what we're doing or we're the go-to person is because we're trying to figure out a way to get you. Like we will come to work and tell you what we're not gonna do, right? Oh, well, I'm not gonna do that. That's outside my pay grade. I'm not gonna do that, right? And they often think that about us. And sometimes unfortunately, we will say that, but that's only because we come from a place where you're not going to ask me to do more than you ask any other employee, because they often take our ideas. They often get credit for the work that we do. So it's a trigger for us when we're asked to do more than normal, and we don't always receive that as, I'm giving you opportunities to move up. We always look at it as, why you ain't ask her to do that? Why you asking me? Why am I always the one you go to? Why am I always the one that you ask to do the extra shit? I don't want another dot on my resume. Go ask somebody else. Like they always want to give you extra shit for experience. They want to give you another job to put on your resume. Like sometimes we don't want that. So we'll come and be like, I'm not doing that. And the myth is because we don't want to do that, just like you mentioned before, that we're lazy. And it's not always that. It's just that you're giving us more work for the same pay, and that's not what we're into.
Mm-hmm. You know, you gotta get away from that.
I've had to tell that to people at my job. I was given an opportunity to learn another part of, and when I learned that part, guess what happened? They gave a requisition came out for that position, right? You apply for the position, and then the very next day they say we can't take any more applications. We have enough. And then a week later, they hire the person that you kind of already knew they was gonna hire.
Oh, that happens a lot. I learned that very early in life. That happens a lot in corporate America. They gotta post those jobs for Department of Labor guidelines and shit like that. But a lot of jobs that you see out there, they already got their person picked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, let me. I know one of those myths are tardiness. Because we always have that phrase CPT and all that shit. That certainly doesn't apply to me. I think everybody on here knows how anal I am when it comes to time and shit like that. I know you're sick of it and shit like that, but hey, that's just me.
Man, you're cool.
But yeah, that's one of the biggest myths. But I think a lot of us people that aren't as punctual, we find ways to game the system. Like I had this this chick I worked with on site at a plant, and she was just late. And the thing is, she didn't work for me, but I guess she felt like I was making her look bad because I'm driving all the way from Columbia and I'm on time every time. I'm driving an hour away. And she was like, "Hey, I said, I'm picking up breakfast." She would be picking up breakfast every fucking morning, so that'd be kind of like her out for being late. And I'm like, "Damn, boy, she playing this finesse game. I'll take your breakfast though, but you don't work for me. Why you worried? I don't give." And I'm one of them types. Whereas I made a pretty good transition from being a manager for the masses down to not having to worry about nobody but myself. Because a lot of people, when they get out of the military, when they have like a lot of people up under, the first thing we want to do is have a job to where we're not in charge of anybody. But she felt as though she had like, damn, this mother. I know she probably. Why is this motherfucker always on time? Like every fucking day of the week. Why is he always on time? So it was just funny to me that she would like, oh, I got a tire flat. Like it would always be a skill. Like, well, you don't work for me, right? Why are you telling me this? But yeah,
she was given a heads up.
Yeah, I just like, man, but like I said, you gotta, you just like Merv was saying, build relationships or whatever, right? And I'm like, for me, this is exactly why I would build those relationships, because I knew I was going to be late anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, look, I got to build that up. You know what I'm saying? I would have my manager like, look, I want to start off in the field first, right? You know what I mean? I already had it built in with my clients.
You're setting us back, Mark.
Like, my clients would fake yell at me while I was like at their business or whatever. I had the whole thing set, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, look, I'm like, listen, you young people, you got to get what you got to get out of this thing. Even when I was with Nike, it was the same shit. Didn't matter what I was with. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man. Yo, we running this game. You know what I mean?
Yo, Mark is crazy, man. I'm crying, man. Mark
hey,
is
yo,
crazy.
Yeah, Mark, you wild. Hey, I got a question. I want to move on. I want to move on to the next segment, and this question is for Merv in particular. Is code switching a bad look for Black folks? For those of you that don't know, code switching is a way to communicate more productively with people who may not share your cultural background. So, Merv, is that a bad look, or is it something that's necessary in corporate America?
Yo,
it's necessary for you because I mean, but answer the question.
Yo, I mean
Marvin, but not Merv. But Marvin good, but not Merv. Not so much.
He already do it.
Yeah, Merv don't code switch at all.
Yeah, but Marvin
Diaz, I'm sure he does, but not Merv.
Of course, and a lot of Black people is probably not gonna like this answer, but it is necessary to code switch. But you can like I said, it's a balance to everything. You can code switch where you can code switch without feeling like you are compromising your integrity or you selling out or whatnot. And like that sellout is a cop out for you not to want to be the best you could be at your job, in my opinion. But yes, you do have to code switch. Some people say, "Oh, you have that. Oh, you got your white voice on, and all kind of stuff." And it's like if you, I can't talk in a professional environment the way I talk on this podcast.
You sure cannot.
I can't talk in a professional environment when I'm out with my guys, when I'm out with my niggas, and we just hanging in the backyard talking about sports. I can't talk that way professionally at my job, at my workplace.
So how do you sound at work, Merv? How do you sound at work? Talk to us in your code switch voice. How do you sound? I need to hear this. I need to hear this. I need to do that easy.
You better call. I can
go get Marvin.
But I'm not gonna do. You better call me between 8 to 5, motherfucker.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
I need to come out somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Becca. All I gotta tell you is that you'd be surprised. It's like talking to a whole nother motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
You gotta do that shit though.
Well, you know what? I used to work in a call center, and it is known that a high pitched, friendly voice is better received than any other type of voice. And even if you try to hide your accent, those are all, it's like, hi, thanks for calling, whatever, how can I help you? Right? If I was answering the phone like, hey, how can I help you? Right? It's going to sound like, I don't want to be there. It's going to sound like you're going to hear New York in my voice. You're going to hear Brooklyn come out. So if I was to say, it's a really good opportunity that you guys have me on this podcast tonight. I am so excited to be here with you guys. This makes me so happy, right? If I talk to you guys like this and I make sure that I enunciate and I put all the endings on my words and I make sure that I am very friendly and open and welcoming, this is going to sound like my work voice. Like this is amazing, Hyson and Sean. I'm so happy to be here.
Like
this is great.
Code switching is necessary.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to talk to you, like if I was to first of all, that voice is exhausting. I never code switch. This is the voice that you get. When I was in call center, I used to always get in trouble for this. This is the voice that I was given at birth. This is the voice that you're going to get. I'm so sorry. If you don't like it, you can just call another time or bank somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you.
Beck, I gotta ask. I'm like, you get along with people at your job?
Yes, they love me. Actually, they think I'm great.
They do. The managers too.
Yeah, no, all jokes aside, yes, the managers do. The managers do. They actually do come to me. This is the reason why I say that. I'm the one that they come to when they need some extra help with a project, or if they need somebody to sit with me because they're doing something wrong. They will say, "Okay, Rebecca, can this person sit with you today so they can watch you do it?
Rika.
Make sure that you help them with this." So yeah, I'm the employee that most of the managers would say, "Let me hit Rebecca and see if she got a minute. I'm gonna take her off this."
That's all right.
Yeah. So
was that true? Was that a true story? You applied for that position that you got the extra work on, and they said the next day is closed. Oh,
my job is good for that. My job is good for that.
Damn.
But for some reason, when you are and most jobs are like this, when you progress, there's usually a roadmap that most people have chosen. Like my position has levels 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I'm at a 3 right now. So most of the people that are at 3, they usually go up to a 4. My particular position at a level 4, I don't want to do. I want to do something above that. So it is not well received that I've told this to people. They was like, you should apply for the level 4 position. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Like I know too much and I'm really good at what I do. That is I don't want to do that. I want to do what's above that.
It's a higher pay?
It's a higher pay.
No, I mean the 4 is a higher pay.
Not much, not enough where I need to go on an interview, 2 interviews, be reviewed, all that extra shit. It's not worth it. Not to me. It's not worth it. It would be like maybe $2,000 or $3,000 more a year, which is nothing but a couple dollars per paycheck. I'm good. Y'all can keep that. I want something above that. But most of the time, when people are promoted, you automatically know what position they're going to get next. If they're a 2, they're going to get promoted to a 3, unless they actually leave the entire department altogether, because everybody follows that same roadmap. And I don't want to do that. So, yeah, a lot of the times you'll have that position where you know a good amount of the job, but you don't want to progress the way everybody else does, and that is a hindrance. Sometimes you have to play that game and kind of, be all chummy with Bob because Bob knows Stan, and it's like, it's stupid.
Look, play the game, right? I'm gonna tell you, right?
It's corporate life.
Yeah.
Listen, play the game. I'm telling you, I could give you a conversation that I had with somebody I work with, and then the boss, right? Same exact conversation, but it was just different, right? Now I'm talking to somebody I work with, right? And this is when we're trying to get this kid, when I told you, with Nike, and we had to get kids to Nike schools, right? Talking to a subordinate, right? Look, I just got to talk to moms real quick, right? You know what I'm saying? For get this young boy over here to this school, you know how many we roll. All I got to do is just get with moms or whatever. And he's just like, yo, is his pops around, anything like that? Oh, all in jail. You know what I mean? So we don't really got to deal with the pop and nothing. All we got to do is convince mom, to do this, and then we good, right? Now, boss man, right? He'll ask me same thing. What's going on with the Jones kid? Are we going to get him to this school? I'm like, listen, we're working on it. I have a meeting with his mother, and as soon as we're going to lock down that meeting, and then he'll ask about the father, and just like, is the father around? No, I heard his father's incarcerated. That's too bad. You know what I mean? And it's the same conversation. You know what I mean? But you talking
I
love
it. Switch it up.
Mark is crazy, man.
Hey, did y'all see the code switch though? Like in real time? That's good. That's fucking good.
Yeah.
Incarcerated.
Same conversation about the same kid, and that was it. That's how it works. Do what you gotta do, man.
I can't code switch. It's exhausting. I know I won't be able to keep it up all day, every day. So I'd rather use a different vocabulary than to switch up my voice and just come off as a different type of personality. I still have to be me. I'll change the vocabulary and I'll use different words. Instead of saying jail, I'll say incarcerated. But other than that, I just can't. This is the voice and the personality that you get, because I think it really is the personality that's switching, and it's becoming more digestible to others.
But you know what's crazy though? Like a friend of mine had met a guy, who it was a show that my nieces used to love when they were young, right? Like Yo Gabba Gabba, right? So this show,
I used to love that show.
Listen, the guy who played Lance, right? On the show, he's happy and look, that's Bobby, right? Whatever.
Yes,
right?
yeah, very extra.
Now listen, my homie met this guy. He said off camera, he like, yo, this dude a whole nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, like, yo, roll up, man. Shit, I got smoke stuff, man, after this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's code switching at his best, because it's just like he gets paid, to be one way, and then off camera he's completely different. You know what I'm saying? I can't even tell my nieces that story at all. You know what I'm saying? They be shocked. Like,
he's very cheesy. He is very cheesy.
Yeah, but listen, that's for the job.
I could never imagine him in the hood. Like, yo, what up, son?
When I'm talking to the boss man, I gotta switch it up. I can't just be like, yo, look, this is what Paul did. I can't do that to the boss man. With the boss man, I gotta switch it up, you know. So I switch it up for the boss man. He the big boss, man. I gotta switch it up.
Yo, Merv, you code switch?
Do I code switch?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nigga. Yo.
You're not gonna give us your code switch voice?
Yeah, I'm not.
I gotta hear this. I want to hear it so bad. I want to hear Marvin speak.
You got catch him on it. What in 5 Heartbeats? What do you say? My office hours are from
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Big Red. Hey, but I got a short story, man. We was having a meeting at our at the plant I was managing, and they were bringing in the company president from the customer that we were servicing. We had all our big wigs come in, and I was walking into this meeting. I was the only black person in this meeting. When I got out of the meeting, we had a group of workers, all of them black. Like, man, I was so afraid for you when you walked into that meeting with all them white folks. And the funny part is, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, it's amazing that our people think in that fashion. I didn't feel out of place or uncomfortable because at my level in the military, I'm used to briefing, colonels and shit like that, and that's like the equivalent of a company president in the civilian sector, a big wig or something like that, regional managers and shit like that. So when I went into that meeting, I was kind of in my zone, especially when you know what you're talking about and shit like that. Now, what I didn't like, of course, what came into that meeting, man, that Tyson guy, he's so sharp, he's so knowledgeable, and I didn't like that shit simply because how the fuck am I supposed to be? That's what I hate about it. It's like it's low expectations. Not all companies, but I mean, it's like they have really low expectations. They have low expectations rather for their black employees, and that shit frustrates me.
Man, can I say something real quick?
Yes,
law, what you saying is true. But let's be motherfucking 1,000. There's a lot of black employees that gives fucking attitude and like, yo, I'm not. That's what you're not gonna do. What I'm not going to, or what I'm not going to do, or yo, my mom name is such and such. Or,
right.
Come on now, like so. Sometimes it makes
I gotta work. I quit.
Oh, I don't need this job. I work it tonight. I don't need it.
I remember that, Rika.
So there's a lot of us that give attitude at work, short temper, ready to go off, or have that don't fuck with me face, or the day not the day. You know what I mean? So it may, some of that shit was like, damn, he got manners and he's approachable. So
he's so
nice. That shit happens, like some of it could be a dig, but some of it could be some valid shit. Because we do a lot of times give a lot of fucking attitude in the fucking workplace. That's some real shit. That's being 1,000.
Yo, Merv, like the comedians say, man, black people are the only people that come on the fucking job and tell you what the fuck they're not going to do. First of all, shit, y'all don't know. My son just went to jail, and my daughter done got pregnant. So y'all motherfuckers ain't about to. What does that have to do with this job and what we're asking you? What we're paying you to do? What the fuck they got to do with anything?
Right now, with my job in the group chats, because they're discussing trying to bring everybody back to work, and all you see in the group chats, well, I'm not, because they're thinking about doing it half and half, with some days you're at home, some days you're in the office. And even today, the group chat was like, well, I'm not going to be bringing my computers to the job whenever the hell they want to. Either they keep me home or they keep me in the office. Like, I'm not doing that. Another person was like, well, how long are they going to have us in the office? Because I don't want to be in the office and then for 2 weeks got to go back at home and then 2 weeks got to go back to the office. Like, make up your mind. And I'm reading this chat. And I'm like, oh, Lord, this is not going to work. This keep us home. This is going to be too much. It's going to be way too much trying to get everybody back at work. After we've been home chilling, Nah, that's gonna be tough.
It's being too real. You know what I mean? Too real. I'm too thorough to listen to anybody, and that's all it is sometimes.
I can just get or they'll do something to get fired, thinking that they're gonna get unemployment.
Right.
Because they're like, I can just sit at home, especially now with people that are unemployment getting mad money.
Well, that shit, they're cutting all that shit though.
Yeah.
That PU, that pandemic extra shit. Yeah, they in a lot of states they're cutting that shit like a motherfucker, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I got the nagging suspicion that we may be heading back toward other lockdowns, but that's a whole nother pod and shit like that.
Yeah, I do too.
But
it's coming like August, September.
Let's talk about let's go to our next segment and let's just hit it hard. Racism in the workplace. Sometimes I think racism could be very subtle. In most cases, that's what you're going to get. To me, I have limited experience in the civilian sector. I'm on year 4, but I think it's subtle. I think it's there, but it's absolutely subtle. So I mean, I just kind of get y'all take as far as what your opinion is on as far as racism as it pertains to your workplace. If you see any, is it there? Is it subtle? Is it wide out in the open? What are your thoughts?
I think it's subtle.
Go ahead, Mark.
I mean, I think it's subtle, but I don't think it's overt racism. At least from what I've seen, I think it's more like, well, at least in my case, well, you understand this area because you're a black guy. You know what I'm saying? So you understand this area better than this white woman. You know what I'm saying? So we putting you here because of this. I don't think it was racist. I think it was more just something, but I don't know if it's just like overtly racist, because I'm like, well, it wasn't like he was right or it was wrong. I mean, yeah, of course, I'm going to understand Southwest Philly better than Becky do. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a fact. But I'm like, have I seen it? I've seen certain little things where, I seen like, for this girl get messed with because of her hair, the hair thing. And I'm just like, well, she looks professional, you know what I'm saying? But she had locks or whatever. And, she looked professional, well, and it was just kind of like, I walked by a conversation and I heard it in the conversation. Just, I don't know why she had to wear her hair like that. I mean, she could just press it out or do something, right? And, I walked by and, I knew one of the ladies, and it was just like, they just kind of cut the conversation off like right there, because I just happened to hear it and I looked, I'm like, shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, yeah, hey Mark, did you fill that other job order? The one I asked you about? I'm like,
don't change the subject now. I heard your ass.
Like, yeah, I did that like 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And then she asked me something else, like what I was going, where I was going for lunch or something. I was like, I haven't even figured that out yet. All right, for a carry on,
She had to divert the conversation.
Yeah, but I'm just like, is that overt racism? No, but is it, along the lines of racist, or whatever? Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I think if somebody looks professional, they shouldn't have to change nothing about themselves. They look professional, so what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? That's personally all I've ever seen or heard in my experience. I'm quite sure it's been some shit that I might have forgot about or whatever, but nothing overtly like, oh, these naggers. Like, no, I ain't heard nothing like that.
Yeah, it's been the same for me. Like, I usually see the racism in the policies, like neatly kept, well together hair, right? Or
well kept, as they say in the military, well kept
hair, right? Or they'll say business casual, right? So they'll say with the footwear, like there was one time where our job wouldn't let us wear open toe shoes, right? But then you had people that was coming to work in flip-flops. They would come, they would have them at their desk and they'll walk around the building with flip-flops. They'll come in the building with heels. They'll walk in the building with flip-flops, leave the building with heels. Like if your shoes are uncomfortable, just get some flats. But anyway, I'll see that racism in policies where it's not in your face, but it's like, what was that?
Read between the lines, right?
It's like when you go to a restaurant and it says like if they have a dress code and all the dress code of the things you can't wear is everything that we wear, and it's they don't want to say no blacks allowed, but with their policy they're pretty much saying no blacks allowed.
Right.
So
a lot of clubs like that.
It's little nuances like that where you're like, so
no fitteds, no do-rags.
Yeah, no jeans, no sports brand clothing, right? No clothing with logos. And you're like,
man, I seen the thing where it said no, this restaurant in Philly had no excessive jewelry, right? And I was like, so when I seen it, I called my man. I'm like, yo, I think we got the Allen Iverson policy at this restaurant I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like around the time Yummy was here, it was like no excessive jewelry. And they didn't want anybody wearing these big ass chains and, Rolex watches with all the diamonds lighting up the sky. They didn't want to see all of that. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, And I seen it as I was leaving. I didn't see it as I was going in. I wouldn't even went in. If that was the case, but I seen how I was leaving. I told everybody, I was like, don't eat here. I was like, look, they don't want us here. And I was just like, you say some, and they said everything else you said, Becca, plus no excessive jewelry. I'm just like, no.
Or they'll do it. I seen, especially when there was a lot during the pandemic with Black Lives Matter and all the companies starting to implement inclusion, right? Mm-hmm. My job. This is what my job did. This is where the group chat got lit because he was like, "Did you see that?" So the CEO of my company sends an email, because of the climate and everything, we're going to implement a better policy on inclusion and making sure that we're diverse and blah 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 blah. A couple weeks later, an email gets sent out about a new person in charge of the inclusion department. And it was a Chinese man. So you send us an email about wanting to protect and prove to your Black employees that the company that they work for keeps their cultural issues in mind, and then you hire a Chinese man that's in charge of the inclusion department.
Stop Asian hate, right?
Where is Ashton Kutcher? Because I was waiting for him to come out. You've been punked because there's no freaking way. And I'm not saying that inclusion does not mean other races. That's not what I'm saying. But when the email says Black Lives Matter, and we understand what's going on in our climate. This is when there was a whole bunch of videos coming out of Black men being killed during the pandemic. So They put this email out, and the email is easily assumed that they're referring to Black issues, and that they're wanting their Black employees to know your company stands by you. We care about your issues, and we don't want you to think that you work for a company that doesn't give a fuck, right? And then they implement a new inclusion department, and the head of that department is a Chinese man. We were like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
You want a nigga with dreads and some fucking Timbos. That's who I want, motherfucker. Or a chick with a big ass Angela Davis afro with her fucking fist in the air. That's what I want doing the fucking inclusion training. I mean, that's what I want.
I want the pick in the fro. I want gold fronts.
The pick with the black power fist at the end of it. That's important.
I need all the Black stereotypes. Give me all of them, please. Every single one. I need the jeans down under the ass. I need the sneakers untied. I need gold fronts. I need 30 chains around his neck. I need him to have crazy rings. I need the hair to be wherever he wants it to be, wherever it was when he woke up. He didn't comb it or nothing. Like I need all the black stereotypes.
And to top it off, I need him when he's giving his briefing on inclusion. I need him to sound exactly like Joey Badass sounded in Power Book 3. Yo, that would have my fucking attention, yo.
I'm also working at Dev Jam.
That would have my fucking attention.
No, remember that passion that the video that just went viral where the dude was representing himself in court. That video that just came out. That I need that kind of passion when he speaks. That's
you need that energy. You need that energy.
I need all that energy. I need his name to be Roscoe. I need him to come from a single parent home. I need his dad to be incarcerated. I need his mom to have like 4 kids.
I feel you.
All
that. I need to put an application in for Death Row Records. That's what I'm describing right now.
Hey, but to round this thing out, I got one last question for you all, and I want to go around the horn. What are your expectations for non-blacks in the workplace? I'm going to go to you first, Mark.
For non-blacks?
Yeah, as far as it pertains to, inclusion and, what are your expectations, like, to make you, I wouldn't say to make you comfortable, because as black people, we're used to being uncomfortable. So I'm not even asking. We used to be in a situation where we're uncomfortable, where we just, we show them how to, because we always show them how to move in a room full of vultures. Whole, give it up the whole. But what are your expectations as far as you come into a workplace? Like, what are your expectations from your non-black co-workers, co-workers, management, and all that? What are your expectations?
I mean, for me, it's just like don't assume anything, because that I'm black. Like, oh yeah, like even if it's true, I don't want you to assume it. Treat me, like anybody else who's not black. You know what I'm saying? Do the same thing. So, listen, if white boy Jimmy, this is, what you expect of him from the job, then expect that from me. Don't just, oh yeah, well, we're going to do it a little different because I think he'll be more suited in this area. Nah, because guess what? Say if I'm Mark from the suburbs and I don't know any of these experiences that you're referring to, then what? You know what I'm saying? Guess what? I'm not going to do good in this area that you're trying to put me in. So I would say like this, kind of treat everybody the same and then assess, their skills and who they are after you learn them. Not, oh yeah, well, we're just going to assume that you would do well with this because you're black. Don't do that. Kind of treat everybody the same. See where everybody's skills and where their, demeanor and everything like that lies, and then kind of, conduct, your business accordingly. Not just assume, how people are. Especially if I don't know you, you ain't interviewed me, nothing. I mean, I'm a blank slate like all these other people. You can't just, oh yeah, well, he's black, so he'll know. No, I won't. So that's it. That's my thing.
All right, Becca.
Don't do too much. Don't do too much. Don't try to be down. Don't try to be don't be extra trying to be an ally, thinking just be yourself. Be, whether that is an ally or a racist, be yourself so we know exactly how to deal with you. Right. But when dealing with people outside of your race, right? When you're dealing with us, you have to know that we already, unfortunately, have a preconceived notion as to how you're going to respond to us. So you kind of have to just weigh that out. We'll be able to warm up to you if you're truly an ally. We will see that. Don't force it, because then it's going to automatically turn into give me my 6 feet. Because I'm still social distancing. Don't talk to me. Don't walk past my desk and ask me how my weekend was. It was fine.
Go to Brooklyn. They go to Brooklyn coming out.
I'm just saying, be you. Whether however that is, whether you're an ally or a racist, just be you, and we'll deal with you accordingly. Don't fake it.
True. Let me kick it over to Marvin. I don't think I've ever called a nigga Marvin like in real life. Like unless I was giving somebody a government name. What's going on, Marvin?
Listen, motherfuckers that call me Marvin after 5 p.m. gets ignored.
All right, Marvin, what's your take, motherfucker? Shit.
Right.
Now I'm gonna get that real that you can. Now I'm gonna get that real that you can feel.
Let me read this question. What are your expectations for non-blacks in the workplace? Man, on some real shit, I don't have no expectations for non-blacks in the workplace. I have an unpopular opinion. My expectations for the black people in the workplace. Look out for each other better. Look out for each other more. Stop looking at each other as a threat. Start looking at each other as like this is somebody that can take my position. So I'm going to sabotage he or she. And on some real shit, I've had more obstacles thrown to me in my corporate years, in my adulthood, from blacks.
Mm-hmm.
I've had more non-blacks look out for me in my career. So that's just me, and my answer is different.
Of course it is.
Well, before I kick it over to Sean, I'm gonna just go ahead and say real quick. I feel what you said, Merv, as far as not having any expectations. You kind of gotta have expectations for your black counterparts. Whereas if we can get in a corporate society, if we can get into a corporate setting, we can all be a team. That's beneficial for us collectively. Unfortunately, more often than not. And I think this goes back to ever since we came over here on those boats. Our ancestors, we've been pit against each other and being competitive and shit. Things of that nature. But if we can get out of that mindset as to where if we can get out of that mindset to where we're in competition with each other and just looking to uplift each other, I think it would be beneficial for the collective. Sometime it ain't your turn. I think that's what we got to understand as black people. But you got to applaud the people when it's their turn. And sometimes you just got to wait your turn. Don't hate, but your time and your turn is absolutely coming. And that's my take.
Yeah, I got a quick question before Sean wrap it up. I got a quick question. Just one word from everybody. The question is, if you had to name one thing that's most important to survive or exceed in corporate America, what would it be? One word, each person.
I'm gonna go with. I'll give you mine first. I'm gonna say
one word.
Resilience.
Okay. Who's next? Just one word.
Adapt.
Right, that's a good one.
Chameleon.
All right.
Okay. Damn, I like
Sean,
that.
one word.
And answer the question.
I go with Stacks on resilient.
Okay, what are your expectations as far as the question? Expectations for non-blacks in the workplace.
My expectation, I'm on the same accord as Merv. I mean, I don't think it's about anyone else with different hue. I think it's more about us. We got to build more community amongst ourselves and start focusing on the other situation of the other half, right? Our other peers, lesser hue. Because when we get caught up into the minutia of what they think, what they see, what they perceive, when we have expectations, then we get lost in the sauce. So I said we have to take care of each other, because everybody else do. Everyone else take care of each other, right? And we got to do the same thing for each other. We got to bring each other up instead of having the crab and barrel syndrome. And Merv says, it be your own people that bring you down, man. And we never talk about that in detail because I don't think we can fathom that. But it's always the other one, as our own people, that's not allowing us to grow. in a company, especially in corporate America, because either they are afraid to bring you along because they think that if you make a blunder or if you don't work to a certain expectation, it hurts them. So they don't want to be the one to say, "Hey, that's not my guy. I thought he'd do better than that." So it's just like, people get afraid to attach their names to someone if they don't feel that person has the ability to do really well. But as soon as you start doing well, they say, "Yeah, I mentored that person." Like, man, you never pick up the phone and call me. Let alone mentor me. So we got to stop doing that. I don't worry about the other side of it. I worry about internally what we can do better for each other.
That's cool, man. That's what's up, man. And I like to add, man. Black people, we really got to do it. Really got to do a better job at putting people on. And what I mean by that is we got to help each other climb that corporate ladder sometimes. I mean, that's just the way it is. So when you start climbing, you really have to, don't get wrapped up in the minutia as far as, well, I'm making it up here. I'm doing what it takes to get up here. You have to remember the little people at the bottom. I mean, to bring them up, not only bring them up, but give them the playbook. Give them the motherfucking playbook. White people do this all the time. Like, motherfuckers will go into interviews already knowing, hey man, I already know what they're gonna ask you. Here's the playbook. Be like the fucking New England Patriots out this bitch that records the other team and shit. So you already know what's coming. Put people on. Put people on. I think that's one of the only ways where we can bring each other up to get these positions. To me, that's that's a no brainer. But hey, shit. Good show tonight. It was a nice change of pace for me.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much for tonight's
Oh
topic.
my god, that call center, damn customer service. You ever been on the phone with somebody real quick? You ever been on the phone with somebody? You give that customer service shit, but you also got that devil in your head that's giving you what you really want to say to this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody has that. But I digress. So I'm gonna go ahead and we can put a nice bow on this shit. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to Sean.
Sure. Really good topic tonight. Really good show tonight. Thank you all for all you out there watching. Thank you for the team out here who came through. We had a couple of notes that Stack sent to me. Two of them, he said, "I guarantee Mark is late to work 2 to 3 times a week, and he tells his friend to clock him in while he's in a parking lot."
That's an absolute lie.
He also says, Stack said, "I guarantee you that Mark uses the restroom and stays in the restroom and take a nap while he's on the clock when everybody's looking for him." And lastly, Stacks also said that he guarantees that Mark tells on his peers so he can stay in good with his boss.
Mark, you know that's a lie. I know ain't no snitching in you. I think that's the last motherfucker on the panel that'll snitch. Yo, I don't know what y'all talking about. I ain't seen Bull. I ain't seen Bull. Hey, Mark be at lunch telling you to play by play. You be telling all the workers to play by play. But management, because y'all know investigations start, Mark be like, I ain't seen nothing. I was asleep. But at lunch, Mark tell everybody, yo, Bull just still off on old Bull. I was right there when the whole shit went down. I was like,
Mark take a little note and put on his boss desk. He be like, yo, read that when you get a chance. He got everything laid out. Everything.
I'm trying. Hey, one more corporate nugget, right? If you have a boss who's a man and they're unhappy in their marriage or they're single, trust me, I mean, you could flow some stuff past them and they with it. That's all.
What?
That is terrible advice.
That's terrible advice. Anybody that watching, do not give your boss a problem.
Listen, y'all.
Mark trying to thank you for it. Hey, Mark trying to send the supervisor. Hey, Mark trying to send the supervisor to the washy so you can work out all the marital issues. Yo, man, hey, if she tripping, I washy,
Washy, bull.
Your boss likes women. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? You might have to pay for it, but he likes them. You know what I mean? That's all I can say.
Mark is crazy. Yo, shout out to the squad. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Blast Music Group. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you for the love. Shout out to Tina B. Shout out to the Lullas. Shout out to everyone that rocks with us. Tayson, the Street Team General. Shout out to those on the front line, those behind the scenes. Shout out to everybody who has been tuning in tonight. We had some really good viewership from the beginning to the end of tonight. And shout out to Rika as well for hopping in the comments as she always does. Rika been rocking with us hard. Georgetown in the building.
Absolutely.
And definitely shout out to Mark Pierce at his job. You got a chance to see how Mark thinks about you guys. So make sure I get him held tomorrow when he gets to work, if he gets to work on time. And again, peace to everybody. Be back again next week. We got more to show. We got more to talk about. And we just warming up. We just showing different ranges of things that we can actually put on the table and talk about. Shout out to Stacks for putting together the show tonight and being the lead host tonight, the night show, and doing his thing. And man, excited for the opportunities that we have out there on our table that we have to filter through. So again, you can catch us on Apple right now. That's start the screen. You can actually get an opportunity to get on there. You can select different segments of the show. I had a chance to take a look at that, so that's a neat little feature. So please, you can fast forward to see Mark wild out moments and Mark giving advice. Mark giving his advice on life. So make sure you tune that stuff in and continue to support the fellas, support the girls, support all of us, support what we're doing. This is something that we love doing, passionate about doing, and we thank you all for rocking with us. You are part of the family. So again, thank you for all the tuning in, and thank you for our radio, Blackjack TV, channel 109, Zingo TV. Shout out to Bobby and the whole team and the whole squadron. We out.
Peace, y'all.
No doubt.
Peace.